Oh, it's on, it's on.
Testing. Amazing. Okay. All right.
Good to go.
Thank you all for coming. This is a historical moment as we aim to launch the largest maritime mission to Gaza since Israel's illegal siege began 18 years ago. Today, in this press conference, we're going to hear from members of the Global Sumud Flotilla Steering Committee and notable people who are supporting this mission. Because this is a press conference, we do ask that people are quiet, which you are right now, and we appreciate it. We love the energy and the chanting, but just for the audio purposes, we need this. We need the audio to be good. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass this on to Saif Abu Kashek, a member of our steering committee, to speak.
Thank you. We will do this part of the press conference in English, and in the second part, where we have direct interventions at the stage, we will speak definitely in Spanish. As Hannah said, we are organizing this mission, but it's very important to understand why we are here together and where is our focus. We keep getting the questions from the press and from people about us, but it's not about us. We are not the heroes. We are not the center of this movement. We are not the reason that there is mobilization. Palestine has been occupied for the past 78 years by a government that their main focus is the ethnic cleansing of the whole population of Palestine. I was born in a refugee camp in Palestine, where the majority of the Palestinians are refugees, displaced within and outside of Palestine. More than 70% of the population in Gaza are refugees. The base of the Zionist state is to ethnic cleanse the Palestinian people, to claim that this is a land without people, to take the resources and take the whole country and expand as much as they can. Since the genocide started, 22 months, we have been witnessing crimes after crimes. They have been imposing siege, illegal Israeli siege on Gaza for the past 18 years. Since 2007, without any reason, they have decided that this part of the land will be blocked, no access. The first actions that they took since 22 months was to block water, medicine, and electricity and food on Gaza. The starvation that we are seeing in Gaza is intentional. It's man-made. We talk about the humanitarian aspect. This is a nonviolent mission that is aiming to open a corridor of humanitarian aid, but for a political reason that is happening in Palestine. What is happening there is not a natural disaster. We cannot ignore the fact that Palestinians are being starved to death because there is a government that is intentionally starving those people to death. Because there is a government that is intentionally pumping Palestinian kids and families every day for the purpose of killing as many Palestinians as possible. When you bomb hospitals, when you bomb schools, when you bomb educational centers, your main aim is basically to displace the people, to commit crimes against the civil society, and to end the presence of the Palestinian population. That's why we mobilize. That's why we work together. This mission has started last June, but it's all inspired by the Palestinian people. The whole movement is inspired by the Palestinian resistance. Our main focus is on what's happening in Palestine. Historically, Palestinians have been leading nonviolent and disobedience mobilizations for so many years. We are talking about 1936 with the big Arab strike for 3 years. We are talking about the civil disobedience in Beit Lahem, a Christian city in the West Bank. We are talking about the first Intifada, long 7 years of Palestinian nonviolent resistance and disobedience. We are not here to save Palestinians, neither teach them about nonviolence or telling them what type of resistance they have to choose. Any people who live under occupation, they have the right to choose how they want to resist that occupation. We, as a movement, take a strategic decision to choose the way that we mobilize, the way that we work, and the way that we support the resistance and join solidarity. This is not a sea mission for us. It is putting the basis for a global solidarity movement that will stand against oppression wherever it is. We bring global south to global north. We work together step by step because they are united in their oppression. They are united in their crimes, and we are united in our solidarity. That's why we have been working together. That's what my colleagues will continue explaining about the mission. Thank you all for coming here, and thank you, Barcelona. Thank you, Barcelona. When we discussed about the launch of this mission, I said it has to be Barcelona. Barcelona is the reference of Palestine solidarity for so many years, the reference of Palestine support during the genocide, and we have been tagged, our ports have been tagged with complicity because of the ships that transit weapons to Israel. We reclaim our ports. Our ports are free from complicity because the people of Barcelona and Catalonia are free. That's why we live from Barcelona.
Thank you, Saif. Next, we're going to hear from another Global Sumud Flotilla Steering Committee member, Yasmin Najab. Please, we love the energy, but we do ask you to refrain from chanting because this is a press conference, and yes, thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for the energy and for coming. We set sail 2 months ago with the Madeleine, and then we set sail with the Handala. And we were attacked, kidnapped, and brought against our will to the Zionist entity. But we did say that we will be back. And today, we show that we are going back. With more countries joining us from around the world. We are 44 delegations. And we are even more people from around the world joining this mission. We had 30,000 people signing up to be on this mission. Of course, we can't take everyone with us. But you will all be with us sailing to Gaza to break the Israeli illegal siege. And here is another sailing boat. So as you can see, there are more boats arriving, and we will set sail from here. But we will be joined by many more boats from different ports. We will be joined from Greece, from Italy, from Tunis. As I'm speaking to the journalists here, journalists in Gaza are being slaughtered. We think of them, full solidarity with all journalists live streaming their own genocide. The slaughter of the journalists is not by coincidence. It is deliberate and it is planned because the stage that we are entering is the most critical stage. That is why we have to act fast. And I say we are entering, even though the Palestinians are the one enduring this slaughter. But if we don't stand up for Palestine, what is happening to our humanity? So what is happening to Palestinians is happening to the whole world. I'm speaking as a German citizen. Germany is the second largest weapons supplier to this genocide. And not only Germany is complicit in this genocide, many more countries are complicit in this genocide. So we have to stand against settler colonialism, apartheid, genocide together. We can only do this together if we unify. So if you are not on this mission, as I said before, we are all sailing on this mission together. We are only a small fraction of a global uprising. We are mobilizing worldwide, and as we are sailing, everyone will see what I'm talking about when I say mass globalization. Yes, and thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yasmin. Next, we're going to hear from another Global Sumud Flotilla Steering Committee member, Greta Thunberg.
Thank you everyone for gathering here and for standing up for what is right and for standing on the right side of history. You all know exactly why we are here. There is nothing any of us up here could say that would be new. Palestinians have been repeating their calls for justice and for freedom and their will to live for many, many decades now, and they have been met with deaf ears. But slowly, slowly, every day, more and more people are waking up and seeing more of the absolute atrocities, the genocide, the mass slaughtering that Israel is committing. And the question here today is not why we are sailing. This story is not at all about the mission that we are about to embark. The story here is about Palestine. The story here is how people are being deliberately deprived of the very basic means to survive. And the story here is how the world can be silent and how those in power, those who are supposed to represent us, are in every possible way betraying and failing Palestinians and all oppressed peoples of the world. They are failing to uphold international law. They are failing to do their most basic legal duties, to act to prevent a genocide, to stop their complicity and support for an apartheid state and the occupation and the genocide of Palestinians. Israel are very clear about their genocidal intent. They want to erase the Palestinian nation. They want to take over the Gaza Strip. And if that doesn't make people act, if that doesn't make people go out of their couch and take action, fill the streets, get organized, then I don't know what will. And personally, I am terrified of how people can go on with their everyday life accepting this genocide, watching a live stream genocide on their phones and then pretend like nothing is happening. Palestinians have been dehumanized to such an extent that they are only spoken of in terms of numbers and UN resolutions. But this story is also about a global uprising, about how people are stepping up when our governments fail to do so. For every politician that is fueling the genocide, further environmental and climate destruction, and further colonization and fascism, there will be people escalating the resistance against that. And that is what we are trying to do, and that is why we are mobilizing people from That is why we are mobilizing people from all over the world, coming back even stronger with dozens of boats, because there is simply no alternative. We know what is at stake, and what we are doing here is using our extreme privilege by living in a free world to listen to and act upon the calls of Palestinians, them telling us to step up and end our complicity. Yeah.
Thank you, Greta. Thank you so much. Now we're going to hear from another Global Sumud Flotilla steering committee member. He has come from a very far away, long way to be here. This is Mohammed Nadir Al-Nouri, and I'm going to pass the microphone to him.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good morning, everyone. It is happening, guys. We are setting sail. And today we are not just watching history in the making. We are a part of it, and we are writing history with our own hands. We have been waiting too long for these governments to act. We have been waiting too long for these leaders to take action. And now we have taken the responsibility to take action in our own hands and to start moving. It is a very big day for us, coming from Sumud Nusantara, which consists of 10 countries from Southeast Asia and South Asia, because today, on the 31st of August, it is not just the time to set sail for the global Sumud Flotilla, but it also marks our Independence Day, Hari Merdeka, in Malaysia. So we, for Malaysians, we are marking this day also as the start of an independent Palestine by the hands of the people, together as a people, until we reach our goal. When we talk about Sumud in our country, people ask us, what is the meaning of Sumud? And most interestingly, in our country, there is a word that's quite similar to Sumud, which is Sumud, which means ants. And this is how we are moving today, like a small colony of ants, fierce, working together, moving together, and protecting our queen, that is Palestine. And Palestine, as our queen, will be free. We from Malaysia, with Sumud Nusantara, are representing 10 countries: Pakistan, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, and several other countries. And I think we are one of the fathers who have traveled here about 20 hours to be in front of you and to tell you that this is not a movement moved only by the West. It is not a movement only moved by the global South. It is not a movement only by the global West, a global North, but it is a global movement where each and every beating heart is on this mission to save the people of Palestine, to stop the genocide, and to stop the famine. And we are proud. We are very, very proud as Malaysians, as today we can tell everyone that the patron of our own Sumud Nusantara, which means Malay Archipelago, is our own very distinguished Prime Minister Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who did not just agree to become the patron of Sumud Nusantara, but he also mentioned a $24 million package for Palestine from the Malaysians. So this is a truly moving event. And Alhamdulillah, everyone is a part of it. Please pay your part. Please play your part. And please pay your part also. And inshallah, we will move together. We will reach Gaza. And we will liberate Palestine. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you. All right. Next, you're going to hear from another Global Sumud Flotilla Steering Committee member, Tiago Ávila.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's such an honor to see this mobilization, to be here in Catalonia. I would like to say that we are very, very happy to see the mobilization that you managed to do here. This mission was supposed to be impossible, if not for an outstanding determination of the people of the world. It's amazing to see that when we decide to do something together, we go beyond that idea that we cannot do anything, that our only mission or our only capacity to do is to work, and compete and accumulate material goods. We have the capacity to achieve great accomplishments once we put collective action, collective intelligence to work. So we have many people here that have been preparing this launch event, that have been preparing this press conference, that have been preparing each and every single boat, crew, captains, mechanics, cooks, logistic team, everywhere, not only here, but in all of our ports, it has been the honor of my life to work with these people, and it's been so amazing to see. Because we know that this is not the first mission. The siege exists for 18 years over Gaza as part of 8 decades of genocide and ethnic cleansing that structured itself into an apartheid colonial state, and which is led not by a religion, but by a racist and supremacist ideology called Zionism. And this ideology is promoting the most horrific violations. And when we look at history, oppressive regimes like this, they think they are invincible until they fall. When we look at the apartheid in South Africa, it was the same thing until the indigenous people there resisted in any way they could, until international solidarity made a difference as well. And that's exactly what we're here to do. We are in solidarity with the Palestinian people. We never forget that. We are part of a global uprising that's mobilizing not only both missions, but has been doing demonstrations, has been promoting boycotts, has been disrupting the armed factories, despite all the criminalization that the supposed democracies and guardians of human rights and civil liberties would do against them. Because we know when there's a genocide, we cannot negotiate with them. We need to isolate them. We need to dehydrate this system of death. We live in a system that exploits, oppresses, and destroys nature in its everyday and enables genocide like this. So we are not going only on a boat mission. We are building an internationalist mass movement to be part of the people who attend to the historical calling of our generation. In 18 years of the siege, the very first missions that attempted to break the siege was already in 2008. It was by then the Free Gaza movement. And the first 5 missions they made to Gaza. This is very important that we never forget. The first boat that made to Gaza in 2008 was the first boat to dock after 40 years, since 1967, when the military occupation of whole historical Palestine started. So it's very important that we never forget. Missions already broke the siege once. After that, 37 boats tried to do this journey. Some of them were defeated by bureaucratic warfare because the Zionist entity pressured the nation states, the governments, the Coast Guard, the maritime agents, the insurance companies. They pressure everyone not to allow our mission to sail. And that's why here in Catalonia, we are so glad to see that we are going past that. They are not stopping us through this way. But some of these missions, they were also stopped by attacks. In 2008, they tried to ram one of our boats, and the boat almost sunk. In 2010, they killed 10 of our participants. By then, it was already the Freedom Flotilla coalition. And 4 months ago, they bombed our boat, the Conscience, between Malta and Italy. So they tried to do everything. And also they intercepted and kidnapped so many people. But when we were there in an Israeli prison, and people were saying, were you not afraid? How hard it was to be in prison. We were always saying what Greta says, that the story is not about us. When we think we're not afraid, we think that the risk that we go through in a mission like this is just a small fraction of the risk that every Palestinian in Gaza has to endure every single day. When we were in prison, we're saying, how was the treatment? Well, of course, it was bad, but it's nothing compared to 10,000 Palestinians that are in Israeli dungeons right now. 400 of them are children, and that's why we need to keep moving. People say, what about your family? What about the family of every Palestinian people? We all here have families, but there's nothing more dangerous for us and for our families than to live on a world that accepts a genocide. So we need to keep on going. That's why we say we are building this internationalist mass movement. We're not inviting people to like our content or to share just our content. We're inviting people to join us right now. The boat missions they are not going alone. They are together with massive demonstrations, with massive encampments, because right now it's the entire political pressure that will break the siege. People keep talking about the chances to break the siege. Like any other mission, we need to prepare and we train our participants in nonviolence. We are very, very strict in the responsibility that we have on this mission to make sure that everyone returns alive with the physical integrity and free. We all want to live a long and beautiful life, and that's why we prepare, and that's why we want to make sure that the whole world has this right as well. That's why we are in solidarity. So, and that's why we say that any attack, any interception that they try to make, they are committing a war crime, and we need to uprise. We need to rise up in any case of that. But we are really, really believing that we will break the siege, because this time, after 37 boats trying to set sail to Gaza, we have gathered more boats than all the boats combined that ever tried to accomplish this mission. We are taking more people than all the people combined that ever tried to break the siege of Gaza, from all over the world, from Sumud Nusantara, from Sumud Convoy, from the Global Movement to Gaza. Many people here that you know from the boat missions of the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, we're all together in this. And that's why we're very, very confident that the whole world will respond to the historical calling. Rise up, the moment is right now. The full invasion of Gaza City increases our chance of urgency. Every minute and every day counts. That's why we are really relying on you. It's not just the boat. We are not even the story. This boat should not even exist. The governments fail, we sail, but we sail together as a global uprising. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Tiago. So next we're going to hear from Liam Cunningham, who we appreciate the enthusiasm. But yes, okay. Liam Cunningham, who you might know as Sir Davos from Game of Thrones. He has had a long history of supporting the Palestinian solidarity and has also had a long history of supporting maritime missions. So Liam, thank you so much for being here. And go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. As the previous speaker said, it's not about boats, and the genocide is not about numbers or UN resolutions. It's about people, and specifically the people of Gaza. And we should really have a voice from somebody there at this press conference. And I'd like to introduce you to a young lady, and her name is Fatima. And she's absolutely gorgeous. If you can see her there. She has a lovely voice, and I'm going to let you listen to a couple of seconds of her singing. Okay? One sec. So Fatima is singing that song because she's making arrangements for her own funeral. She wants that song sung in the event of her death. What sort of a world have we slid into? What sort of a human hole have we found ourselves in when children, beautiful angels like that at 5 or 6 years old, are making their own funeral arrangements? Where does that leave us? How are our children and our grandchildren going to look back at this horrific episode in the existence of our species? How can we look at our grandkids when they look at us and say, how did you let that happen? So it is disgusting that a child or anybody is put in that position. And the end of that story, I'll keep it brief. 4 days ago, Fatima was killed. She was killed by the Israelis. Somebody is going to be singing that song over that child's corpse. That's why I'm at this table, and that's why the flotilla is important. And Western governments should have made these boats unnecessary to be making this trip. And the fact that you guys are here and the flotilla is happening is an indication of the world's failure to uphold international law and humanitarian law. And it is a shameful, shameful period in the history of our world. And we should be collectively ashamed, and we need to get up and stop this as soon as we possibly can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Liam. All right, we love the enthusiasm. But yes, thank you. Thank you, Liam. Next, we're going to hear from Irish comedian and activist who we're so grateful to have here and on this mission, Ty Hickey.
Thank you, guys. As my comrades have said, it's there's nothing. I'm being upstaged. Again. Oh, wow. Mothership. I really hope I'm on that one. I just want to say, guys, as other people have said, there's nothing extraordinary about what we're doing. I've been quoting Yasmin all week when she says that this is the bare minimum of what we could or should do to just show basic empathy and solidarity with people who are starving to death. Myself and Liam are from a country whose history is pockmarked by genocide and man-made starvation. So I'm very proud that every time I turn a corner here at the moment, I meet someone new from Ireland who's part of